Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, the show that brings you the latest and greatest and odd and crazy news from all over the planet. We are like two professional hockey players skating across the ice that is the internet and occasionally smacking the hockey puck of world news straight into the goal, watching the red alarm go off, and everybody loses their minds. And there's the guy on the camera who's got to like make out with his girlfriend, and there's the guy on the camera who's like dancing all crazy, and there's the guy who's doing like the weird thing, and there's the Ashley is on the video. Welcome, by the way. Hi, we're doing weird and crazy news. I'm your host, Steven, joined by the crazy, the amazing, the wonderful, the irreplaceable Smashly, who I've been distracted during this entire intro for because we're doing this live on Twitch, if you're not aware, and Ashley's eyes are about as wide as saucers and looking up in the corner of the room. So I'm thinking that something flew in or something happened.
So
a giant bug is in the room.
The windows, right? Like, and then on the outside, which makes this much sense to me, like this much. I'm holding a wiener in my hand. How much sense this makes to me?
That was some VR you were doing just then. Somebody's clipped that and they're keeping it.
They're on the outside of the windows.
Okay.
So you would have to go outside to lower the blinds. I don't want to go outside. It's buggy and
why are the blinds on the outside?
Oh my god, there's so many whys in this house. But anyway, there's one of the
Is it one of the big moths that's like as big as your face?
It's okay. I do not like grasshoppers. They're God, you are enormous. It's like Godzilla. I don't like. Shouldn't you be asleep? I delight in running
busy.
them over with the lawnmower. So there's this there's the string for the blinds, right? And why? What are you doing? And it started swinging, and I looked up, and there's like a grasshopper that's like, I swear to God, like this big, like so big. I'm like 4 feet away from it, and I could just see it doing this with its hands, like paint me like one of your French whores. It's like cleaning its antenna and stretching his back legs out.
She didn't call herself a French whore. That's like that's the X-rated version of Titanic.
Oh, sorry.
French girls.
I'm like, oh my God, it's enormous. Like it probably weighs like a pound.
Go out there and skewer it, and then roast it over a fire and have yourself a snack.
They're like, blah, 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 I'm going to eat your soul. Like, I hate mandible. Okay, I like praying mantises. Those are super cool. I don't like any other mandibled bug.
Like with it where they have side mouth.
Yes.
Like the predator.
Predator.
Yeah. Oh, snap. You know what I heard is this year a bunch of properties from the 1980s, the rights are reverting back to the original rights holder, and that includes Predator and Terminator and Who Framed Roger Rabbit and a few other properties that are going to be going back to the original holder. So what this really means is that Disney and whoever owns all these different properties is just going to call up the person that owns them and be like, hey, man, can we renegotiate the contract for another 300 years? And they'll be like, yeah, give me money. And everything will stay the same.
I would if I wrote something that lasted for 20 years. Okay, Jacob is like in the... Oh, it flew. Oh, my God. Pan's Labyrinth big.
Is it outside?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well,
if it was inside, I would not be in the seat.
You'd have jumped up and left.
Oh, it's on the window. Oh, Jacob.
Tell Jacob to go out there and eat it. Tell him, like, eat it like one of you did when you were just a boy back there down getting crawdads out the creek.
Hopper.
See?
I wasn't. He even said.
Yeah, is he going to go get it? Is he going to go shoot it with his crossbow?
I think he's stabbing the ice machine.
Oh, okay.
And has been for the last 10 minutes.
He's got to get that fresh ice for his scotch.
His frice.
By the way, I shouldn't talk about this. I shouldn't. Scotch. Wait, no, not scotch. We're okay. This is probably fine. Whiskey, wine, and cheese have all been given a 25% tariff imported into the U.S. So your whiskey, wine, and cheese may be going up in price. And I'm like, if you really want to upset the population, start making their whiskey, wine, and cheese more expensive.
I was gonna say that upsets
Who were this? Is like the core of
moneyed
America is
people.
upset. Oh, Oxida was Scotch was one of them. So yeah, so Scotch prices are gonna go up. Like, what are we doing? We're just shooting ourselves in the foot. Whiskey and Scotch are cousins. Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
What
Jacob, they put a tariff on Scotch.
he knows. He told me about it.
Oh.
He's the one that
of
told me about
course.
it. He found out about it first and was like, "What is going on?"
Oh.
That's like saying I'm going to tax NASCAR. Everyone who watches NASCAR owes me $7. You'd be like, "What the crap?"
I really can't think of anybody I knew that enjoyed Scotch before I met Jacob. Like, I mean, you go to Christmas parties and everybody had a Scotch because Shane, I'm cool with a slice of American cheese and a box of wine. So I can't drink right now.
Yeah, it's ill-advised of you to
But the
drink.
cheese bothers me because I like me some cheese.
Yeah.
I was taking a cracker, put a slice of cheese on it, and 3 olives, and that's what I was eating while you guys were doing your little pre-show.
That sounds like a pretty healthy snack.
No, God, it's awful.
Like, really? Why would you? Did cheese and olive go together? I don't know if those go together.
Well.
Really?
Yeah,
Sam
I
loves
definitely
an olive.
have I've been craving all the salt ever. But I actually get up in the morning and put a teaspoon of Himalayan salt, and then I juice like half a lemon, and I drink that first thing in the morning.
That's your
You're supposed to do
breakfast.
that anyway, though. That's
I heard you're supposed to drink enough water to go pee 3 times before 10 a.m. Like, that should be how you rehydrate in the morning. I don't know if that's true.
Done.
Yeah, you pee 17 times, and that was before you got pregnant. So I don't know. I don't know what baby dancing on your bladder's doing for your pee schedule. I pee like 3 times a day right now. I really got to work on my water intake.
I haven't noticed a huge difference in the amount of peeing that I do.
Maybe it's because your bladder's the size of a walnut, and even if the baby did grow, it couldn't step on it.
I do. I do notice if I do lots of like fruit sugars or like carb heavy stuff, I pee more often.
I guess that okay.
But I think because I've been craving such salty stuff, it has not increased the.
Does the sugar make you pee more? Like, because you said fruit.
Well, yeah. So that's like an issue. That's like one of the first signs of like diabetes is having to urinate often.
Oh,
because your blood sugar is higher than it should be.
I've got reverse diabetes. I never go pee.
I feel like you need to. You've been carrying your water around though.
I have in my Clement's Mechanical mug. That's
a big operation.
That's a big outfit. That's a big outfit. You guys, I am going to start working the word outfit in regard to a large company or mom and pop shop into my normal vocabulary because I feel like it's lacking, and I feel like millennials killed the outfit, and it's time to bring outfit back.
Will you please put that to a song? Video killed the radio star, but millennials killed the outfit.
Like, I want to go down to the hardware store and be like, this is a pretty good outfit they run here. Just like with a big old mustache. This is what I want in my life.
A big old mustache.
Mm-hmm. Me and Jacob decided next year for the St. Baldrick's, I'm just gonna not cut anything on my head for a month till January 1st to St. Baldrick's. I'll just grow my beard out and my hair, and then on St. Baldrick's Day, I'll just let them go. I'll just take all the stuff.
So are you gonna like have them trim your eyebrows?
I mean, no, that's not normal. Like, you don't do that. It would. What if they trim my eyebrows? It took like 3 years for them to grow back.
That would be my mom when she was like 18. She had her cousin like shave her eyebrows or something, and my mom literally draws her eyebrows back on every day.
Is it because they never grew back?
Yeah. Well, it's also because she's Cherokee, so there's not like a ton of body hair going around.
She doesn't have hair on her body anywhere.
She does. My mom and I get like 3 leg hairs, and we have 2 eyebrow hairs. This is lots of makeup. Mom's way worse though. Mom's got like 2 little squidges right here, and then like 3 hairs. Like, so seeing her with, I mean, that's like she'll wake up in the middle of the night to go pee at somebody's house, and she'll make sure her eyebrows are done.
Oh, that's funny. my grandma until she was like 95 and dead put on her makeup every day. Or
While
had
she was
somebody put
dead?
no after she was dead it didn't matter anymore, but beforehand, like, she was, if she knew somebody was coming to visit, she would be dressed up super nice with her pearls and her makeup on and her hair done in the retirement home,
That's
because she is a
adorable.
boss. She's like, if I'm gonna be out and about, I'm going to put on my makeup. My
I
grandma was
wish I could
awesome.
do that. I like wish that I could go, oh, like I enjoy putting on makeup because I have so much of it. I like playing with it, but I also am super lazy and Sam doesn't care what I look like when we're playing around.
No, he doesn't. But she grew up in a time where, like, the wife was to be presentable
Yeah.
at all times, and that was just how it was and how it works. So nowadays, people are just like, "F presentable. My hair is going in a bun, and I'm putting on yoga pants because I'm not going to go anywhere today."
So I will say, like, when Jacob gets home, like, I will just like, okay, like I don't do my hair because I don't know how to do my hair. Like, I go through these phases where it's really long and it's up, or it's really short and it's pulled back. But my hair's never like down because I don't know what to do with it. But I will put on like a little bit of makeup before he gets home just so I don't look like the crypt keeper.
If your hair is down, it makes you an anime villain. Aren't all anime villains? Don't they all have down hair?
That's
You're a hero if you have up hair. You're a villain if you have down hair.
I feel like you could write a paper about that. I've never thought about that. That's beautiful.
Should do some research. I'm sure Bitch Streams could tell us whether that was accurate or not, because he actually
Yeah.
watches anime, where I just have seen it. I've seen anime. I do not.
I'm trying to
watch
think
the
of
anime.
like well, no, because all the Sailor Scouts have their hair down, but
Villains
yeah,
have
all
hair
the
down
Sailor
there.
Scouts have their hair down.
Yeah. See. Wait.
What was
No.
what? Yeah,
I don't think it matters with female characters.
you're
I
talking
think
about
it's
the dudes.
male characters with down hair are
I
evil.
will say that when I've seen either like web comics or anime, when they're trying to portray like two different personalities of a character, their hair will go up and down.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
See, and Z Sub agrees with me. He said one's righteousness holds their hair up, while someone's villainy will drag it down. I like that. It's a good way of thinking about
We
it.
don't deserve some.
We don't. He's not not what we deserve.
Wait,
You know?
so we're still. Sub was supposed to visit the week after Dragon Con, but I'm just like, I'm a die. I need a week to recover. And so like then we talked about him coming over like school's fall break. He's not in school, but like he could secure
A
rides
school,
easier
yeah.
that way. But that's like a week after I start my second trimester. And Stephanie's like, yeah, it can take like 3 weeks for you to stop like wanting to throw up and die. And I'm like, so how do you feel about November?
How you feel about like coming closer to not soon?
November. Now there's bugs having sex on the window.
Oh boy. It's
What is
getting
this like
saucy
National
over there.
Geographic like bug day?
You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals.
That's
I remember that.
like
No.
the stuff that we listened to when we were like in high school, like the I want to believe you like an animal and let's do it like to do it on Discovery Channel. Like I remember listening to that when I was little. I'm like, good God. But
Yeah.
like at the same time, it didn't like
connect.
it would stick in your head kind of, and you would recognize the song when it came on, but it wasn't something you're just like, yes, I identify with this. This defines my life now.
I just don't know who writes a song like that and can go to Thanksgiving and sit and eat dinner with their grandma. Like, hey, Sonny, how are you doing? Well, I just wrote a song about monkeys banging each other, or I just wrote a song about getting down, like an animal. Or, or even like the Boys to Men going
Monkeys banging
what if-
each other.
like Boys to Men are going to like meet their mom for lunch at McDonald's, and she's like driving in the car listening to "I'll Make Love to You Like You Want Me to," and "I'll Hold You Tight, Baby, All Through the Night." And it's like, you wrote that, and your mom has to listen to that. They know what you're doing now. I mean, they knew before, but you don't have to like put it out in the open and like fly. I could never write a song about like romance.
Yeah, but our parents listen to your mom listens to this show, and we just kind of ignore the fact that she does because we don't want to be embarrassed.
True, but no, I'm not writing poetry about what to do as a married person in my own business. I'm not singing songs about that. I used to sing songs about butts and stuff like that, but not in the context of
You're making this so much worse.
what we used to sing all kinds of weirdo songs, but they were never about like I'm making out with you, baby. Let's get down and dirty. You know?
I don't know. I guess like I feel like you would just have, like your alter ego that you are as your rock star thing, and then when you're with your family, everybody just
They just
the
ignore you?
grasshopper just ate the sex bugs.
Good.
Oh my god!
I love this saga and the way it's playing out.
How do you eat like the banging bugs? That's rude. Sorry.
Imagine Rihanna's like breakfast with her dad, and it's like, "How are you doing today, Dad?" "Oh, just been listening to your latest hot track, Chains and Whips." Like, what? How do you have that conversation? How do you do it? How do you do it?
I feel like it would be worse for like I don't feel like the parents. I don't feel like it would be as bad for because your parents had sex, but it's like
No,
you have that little
You can't
cognitive
be
dissonance,
convinced.
right?
There's no.
Exactly right. Like you were created by your parents banging one out. Lucretia, I love you. I'm so sorry.
No, you don't.
But you don't think about it. However, like I feel like it's the friends thing because C. Mitch walks up to you like, your parents banged. I feel like that's what it makes it weird. Right, Jay. Yes, Jay. And then, if, you have a pool and a hot tub in the back because your kid's saying about getting done doggy style. You know what? It's a pool. I got a hot tub. All my bills are paid. She can doggy style whoever she wants.
She came along and bought me this new car and paid off my house. I guess if that's the kind of thing she wants to sell, I don't know. I could never do it. I could never do it. I could never.
For that kind of money, I could do many things.
Well, there's always Cam Girlin on Twitch. Just become remarkably popular.
Pregnant woman enters the chat.
I noticed, dude, there's dudes on Just Chatting now, like really like swole dudes sitting there with their like tiny tank tops on, and they're like, "I'm a fella." There was one dude. What was the title of his Twitch stream? It said 7 years in prison, getting out, trying to get back to real life, and he's like bulked out in a tank top, and his Twitch handle was, excuse me if somebody goes there, but it's everybody kills. And I'm like, you are playing into a persona, baby.
Wow.
I was like, okay.
I love that normal life is streaming on Twitch.
There's just people, and there's either you've got your boobs out or you've got a camera on your whole bedroom. That's the way the Just Chatting environment. We're in Just Chatting right now, actually, which is kind of funny. But
I'm like there are no boobies.
No, don't do that. It's fine if you do that. It's just fascinating. I'm mystified by this entire world and the fact that it's like latest tip $1,500, and you're like, holy balls! Maybe I should take my shirt off from time to time. That's a good way to lose money.
I've never seen Steven without a farmer's tan in my entire life. Like when we go swimming and stuff, like Steven just has a farmer's tan, and like I feel like that's his birthmark. Like that's just what Steven looks like. I don't think he can be a solid color.
When I was a little kid, I was as brown as I don't have anything brown on my desk. I was pretty dark. I was like dark all over. I was that little kid dark where you're always running around with your shirt off and your shorts are real short. So like my butt was like as white as this piece of paper, but the rest of me was just super dark. That was the way I operated then.
I think because my dad's like, Ashley, you used to get so dark. You looked like hickory wood and and then I entered the goth phase and didn't go outside for like 15 years.
What is this?
He's like, what happened to you? I'm like, look, because I have this little spot on my arm that I guess it's a scar because there's zero like melanin on it. And normally when I do not have a tan, you cannot see the dot. Like it's just my skin has zero melanin. So it's just like a nice porcelain paper white. However, the summer, the dot was like there. I'm like, oh my God, I have a tan. You can't really tell, but I have a tan. And so dad was making fun of me. He's like, wow, you're getting awfully white. And I'm like, I can still see the dot.
I am tanner now than before.
Yes. Like the ultra 00 white porcelain makeup stands out too much. So I still have a tan.
I like a fair skin. I'm a
I
fair
have
skin
to.
fan. I could get tan, but I think I have a type. My type is like brown hair, fair skin. Well, it's because my type is what Stephanie is.
I was gonna say, so Stephanie, the brown curly hair and then the greeny eyes and then fair skin.
Yeah.
Stephanie's always been, she's got more, I guess, pink in her skin than me.
Yes.
Because her and I are not the same skin tone because we can't like switch colors and makeups back and forth.
If she gets tan, she gets more reddish.
Yes. Yeah.
She gets more reddish. She's got a lot more Irish in her in her system. Let's do a factoid, shall we?
We should do that because the factoid's like 9 years long.
Hold on, let me try that again. Factoid of the week. Jack-o'-lantern comes from the Irish legend of Stingy Jack. Legend has it that Stingy Jack invited the devil to have a drink with him. But Jack didn't want to pay for the drink, so he convinced the devil to turn himself into a coin. That was all wrong.
What? I was like, oh my God, we're really getting into this story.
I hit like every button on my soundboard on accident. All I wanted to do was make
I'm
this
gonna
sound.
get premature birth.
That's what I wanted. That's all I wanted. Instead of buying the drink, he pocked the coin and kept it close to a silver cross in his house so the devil wouldn't take shape again. He promised to let the devil go as long as he would leave him alone for a year, and if Jack died, that the devil wouldn't claim his soul. After a year, Jack tricked the devil again to leave him alone and not claim his soul. Basically, the devil is really gullible in this story. When Jack died, God didn't want such a conniving person in heaven, and the devil, true to his word, would not allow him into hell. Jack was sent off into the night with only a burning coal to light his path. He placed the coal inside a carved-out turnip and has been roaming the earth ever since. People in Ireland and Scotland began creating their own creations of Jack's lanterns out of turnips, beets, and potatoes. Their tradition came to the United States along with the immigrants, and people began to use pumpkins, native to North America, for the lanterns instead. That is the coolest story ever.
Right?
I love stories about people like screwing over the devil or like having these deals, devil deals. It always fascinates me because it's always such a my soul for this thing, and it's all dark and weird, and I love that stuff.
I just wonder what the conversation was with like, hey, buddy, I bet you can't turn into a coin.
You're right. And he's like, I sure can. Watch me do this. Got that done. Bloop.
I'll go stick you next to a cross. But yeah, I thought that was so cool. But I'm just like sitting here imagining like Jacob carving a beet and just like all the juice.
Yeah, really. How does that work? Can you hollow out a beet or a turnip?
Beet juice is real.
Yeah, and it gets on everything. I hate beet
juice.
Sand. Gets everywhere. Oh, Star Wars.
But yes, prepare for an entire month of fun fact.
Oh, you do have more stories like that. Was cool. All right, let me try to do this soundboard without blowing up everything. Other than making it as loud as humanly possible. Sorry about that. Hey, man, world news. Vegan traumatized for life after receiving a pork roll. Traumatized for life is in quotes. I mean, I'll read the story. A vegan claims she was served a pork sausage roll she thought was meat-free and says she'll be traumatized for life. Charlene Ndungu, 20, said she broke down in tears and started having heart palpitations once she realized that the vegan sausage roll she ordered from bakery chain Greg's in Kent, England, actually contained meat. She says, I haven't had meat in 2 years. My belly started hurting and my heart started going crazy, Ndungu said, according to the Metro UK. I was panicking because that only happens when I consume meat. This doesn't happen when I have other food. I'm traumatized for life now. I'm never going to Greg's again. Ndungu had returned to the bakery and was offered a $2 refund by the manager. The unsatisfied woman then called the bakery's customer service hotline and she was offered a $36 voucher, but that too was not good enough for Ndungu, who wanted a public apology. I was asking for a public apology to make people aware that they should watch out for things like this, she said. People can be allergic to pork and potentially die from such a stupid mistake. It's my choice not to consume the meat because it causes cancer. That choice has been taken away from me. I now have cancer. She didn't say that. Ndungo, a YouTuber, has reported... Oh, a YouTuber. I see what this is. Had reportedly posted 3 videos on social media railing about her food experience. My body is poisoned for life now, you know, she said in one of the videos, according to the news outlet. Okay, let's unpack this. Ashley...
there's so much.
You go first.
No, it's your story. You
traumatized for life for eating meat. Like, if you can't move on in about a week... or 2, you need to see a therapist. You need to go, like, and I get it, man. There's people, if this wasn't a religious event, like, because I've heard of, there was a story a while back. Listen, this is how Steven's brain works. Taco Bell, a dude who was, I believe he was Hindu, ordered a bean burrito, got a beef burrito. No bueno. Because if you're a Hindu and you eat a beef, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure the dude was Hindu. He had to go back to India to a particular river and cleanse himself in order to become whole again after eating the beef burrito.
Well, that's also vegetarian from, like, birth, too.
Right. And I mean, but it's particularly cow is not a good thing. So There was a big event. Taco Bell had to apologize, all this stuff. This doesn't sound like that kind of scenario. This doesn't sound like she's making a pilgrimage to, to the rainforest to cleanse in the Amazon. She's just ticked off because she got a sausage roll. You can find a way through this. We can work through it together. We can just forget. If you took a bite out of it, it was real sausage and you swallowed it, you probably should have noticed when it went in your mouth that it was a sausage and not... Why are you getting vegan sausage anyway? Well, why just stay away from anything that's flavored like an animal? I'm not saying the vegan lifestyle is wrong. I'm just saying that maybe Miss YouTuber is fishing for likes.
She is 20.
And is 20. We're all ridiculous at 20. Humans need natural predators, Ashley. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I can't take it anymore. People need to have to fight for their survival once in a while. We have literally got to a point where we have nothing to be afraid of, so we just make up bullcrap all the time to be angry about. Do you think our ancestors were sitting around going, "Daggone it, I wanted a cucumber, not a zucchini. That guy doesn't know the difference between the two. I'm so mad." And then he gets eaten by a tiger. And then nobody heard from him again because he was too busy railing about stuff that doesn't matter. There were tigers everywhere. I told you, and you were just like, whatevs, I'm mad about the zucchini. That tiger coming to get me, eat me alive. We need some sort of external force to drive us to understanding what a real threat is. We need space worms. We need giant alien threats. We need Starship Troopers. Would you like to know more?
That's the best movie.
All right, you go.
Oh, like you stopped, but like I was watching the video on Twitch and you were still talking. I'm like, did he mute himself?
You're like, what's going on?
I was real confused. Sorry.
I'm so upset.
You don't understand how much I love that rant. My biggest issue with this. So I was a raw foodie for years. So I didn't eat meat. I didn't eat cooked food. I didn't eat processed, like, anything. The most processed thing I ate, which was cheating, were these blue corn chips that were literally just blue corn squished in salt and, like, baked.
They were real good, too. I missed those. Then they had the salt, the hot salt.
The red, yeah. Well, those had, like, more spices and stuff with them. But those are, dear Jesus, those were good. My God, I missed that.
You were real difficult to go out to eat with, by the way. It was frustrating.
Well, because there was so much that, like, I couldn't eat. I mean, and every once in a while, I'm just like, at first, I was really stringent because I felt better. Because, I mean, I was basically doing a protein fast. But, okay, so this is the thing. Like, if you, and I'm going to make a judgment call based on what she's ordering. So she's ordering a vegan sausage roll. Those aren't the best ingredients. There's lots of highly processed foods in there. Like hydrogenated oils and stuff, which are all actually carcinogenic. The phthalates and the hydrogenated crap. So to say that she's upset because meat causes cancer, but then still eat in such a manner where she's not necessarily concerned about what she's putting in her mouth. It just it needs the vegan label so it can have all the sugar, which actually does feed cancer, and all the super highly processed stuff, just as long as it is in meat. That's where I call bullshit. And I can understand her being upset because like there were a couple times, like especially when I first started going raw, where I would get table salt and I could like I felt yucky because I had table salt in my system. But yeah, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard is the meat causes cancer. I'm like, honey, there's so much crap that isn't food that vegans eat and typical Americans eat, that to make that claim that meat causes cancer and then not diagnose your super processed bullshit roll. Maybe you need to take a step back and do some more research.
I think it can all be summed up with a YouTuber. Like, at the end of the day, she's narcissistic like all of us who do this stuff. And it sounds great to jump on your YouTube and fuss. But you're right. You can't be angry about the one cancer-causing food while eating another cancer. She's like, the vegan sausage is better for you, and the pork sausage is causing cancer, as she's sipping her PSL. You know, like, it's like, come on, man.
Well, that's what I used to do. I used to eat these really super processed, like, hot dogs and stuff. And so as I went on with some of the research I was doing, I started realizing that it's more the processing and if you're going to eat meat, then find locally sourced, grass-fed, grass-finished, yada, yada, yada kind of stuff. Like, that's healthier on the spectrum as a whole, as opposed to, going to Taco Bell and getting a bean burrito.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, if you just make a little better decision, because it's hard to do anything to an extreme. It's just like a load of BS. Scotty in the chat just said he just went vegan and it's so difficult. It is. It's freaking difficult to change your lifestyle to a rigorous or strict anything.
Yes.
So I think like for the average person, switching to grass-fed meat, probably a decent switch from just picking up ground chuck from Walmart.
It's more expensive, but,
yeah, but
you don't need to eat 15 pounds of meat a week anyway.
Exactly. If we're talking about just your average person, like, don't buy Cheez-Its, don't, and you don't have to eat them. And one thing me and Stephanie learned is if it's not in the house, we won't eat it. If it's in the house, it's like having crack around. We bought a bag of candy for Halloween, and Stephanie was like, I bought this bag of candy. And I'm like, you should not have bought that bag of candy. She's like, listen, I need to learn how to have this stuff around and be able to handle it. It was gone in 3 days. I'm just like, we can't. We cannot have this stuff in the house. If we do, it's available, and we'll eat it. If there's no snacks, there's no snacking.
That's like your natural predator argument. Like what bad thing would come of you eating sugar? Okay, you may feel bad for like 10 seconds because Steven and I get sugar headaches and you're going to get fat, but getting fat's so easy. So who gives a shit? That one was for you, Sub.
It is pretty easy. I've got a little bit of a bread basket growing right here because I haven't been going to the gym and running on this machine like I'm supposed to.
Same.
And I've been eating a lot of nugs and stuff, so I got to get back on the bandwagon, faux show. So got to do it. You just ate a bag of M&Ms, but
so I already have a headache from eating like the 10 that I've eaten. God, and I've just saw the ingredients and I want to die. Red Lake number 40, suck a butt.
Why does everyone want to love us with crud food? Like, why is it it's like, I brought you a McFlurry because I love you. And it's like, you're going to die. I'm giving you closer to diabetes. But
I gave my dad a donut the other day. I was like, Dad, do you want a donut hole? He's like, yeah. And he stuck one in his cheek. And my mom goes, Charles, you're diabetic. That's it. And he looks at me and he sticks his hand back in the bag and shoves like the other one in his other cheek. And I'm like,
yeah. Because that's what we do. We're like, you're not going to tell me what to do. Watch this. Chubby funny.
It was so like it made him deliriously happy to A, thwart me and my mother, and to B, get sugar.
Oh yeah, screw the health consequences. He's more worried about his who he is as a person, his independence to decide what he eats.
He's a chubby boner. Fuck. Let's read another story.
Here we go.
Oh, God.
Nice call of the show title, McFly.
Oh, I'm gonna throw up.
Chubby Boner is not the show title.
Speaking of chubby boners, Billboard plays 20 minutes of porn.
What? Oops.
Like normally they catch that. There were two of these stories. One of them was in New Zealand and it played it for 9 hours. But
Sure,
an
that was a
electronic
mistake.
billboard near Auburn Hills, Michigan, arouse. Godzilla Moth is out there. He's just like chilling. Gah!
Mothra.
Got grass raw.
Yeah,
Hopper-
sure. Grasshopper.
Aroused a lot of attention after it started playing a pornographic video. Police say they received numerous calls. Pearl clutching about the graphic images on the billboard, which is located on the I-75 and M59 interchange. What's an M59? I've never seen an M designation.
I think it's Michigan State Road.
Oh,
So
okay.
I-75 is the interstate, and M59.
Did you pull that
is
out of
Michigan.
your anus?
I did. I actually
Those feel good.
I was reaching way up in there and got it out and looked at it, unrolled it. Oh, there's that factoid.
Dr. Justin Camo, one of the drivers who saw the sex-laden videos, said he nearly got into an accident because he couldn't believe what he was seeing. Quote, I came across a billboard and it was something unusual. I saw 2 girls. Lesbian porn. Camo
Why were there
said.
not like 150 accidents on that interstate that day? Like,
There wasn't. Like that was when I got to the end of the article. They're like, there were no accidents. I'm like, how?
how were there not
Especially when
accidents?
this guy sees something unusual. 2 women.
I've never seen this before. 2 ladies were kissing one another. Oh my goodness.
I could just hear this guy going, I saw 2 girls.
Lesbians.
Another driver, Chuck McMahon, said he thought at first the video was an international ad. You know, those
No, it says
internationals.
intentional. You had it right the first time. It's an intentional ad.
Oh, I thought it was international. I got so excited. Mine was better. For something like a strip club. Then he realized what it really was. I was just looking up at it. I was like, huh. Oh, wow. That's porn.
I feel like that's something that Lando would say. Like if Lando's driving down the road and he's like, "Oh wow, that's porn." Okay, you can tell who spends
These
time.
quotes are so good.
You can tell who spends time watching the porn based on the reaction. That guy's like, "Yeah, I've seen that video." The other guy's like,
wow,
"Oh my
yeah.
goodness, lesbian
girls."
porn."
They have like I was actually really curious to see what this was. And they have like a safe for work version, but I'm like, that's like boring.
Who wants safe for work? There's just
Right.
pixels
Like
everywhere.
you're taking the orn out of the porn.
How do you make a safe for work porn video?
Well, you get Nathan Fillion.
Okay, well, aside, like, let's say you're actually taking a real life porn video and making a safe for work version of it. What does that even look like? It's like audio and no audio and pixels everywhere. Bubble porn?
You couldn't even have the
Bubble porn?
pixels because it like if your boss walked up behind you and you're just watching blurry porn, that's also bad.
That's also not what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and turn that off.
Yes, was that the one that had Nathan Fillion in them?
Yeah, those are the PG porn.
They're so good. I
They were
freaking
funny.
loved it. I was just like, I've never been more disappointed not to see Nathan Fillion naked.
Was for those who want context, it was real porn storylines without any of the sex. So it was just like
so like they had the plumber one, and I'm just like, yes.
nothing's
Nathan
wrong with
Fillion's heyday.
anybody's class of things they want to watch. Whatever you're into it. No one's here to disregard your thing.
So that was this is probably why I am like I am. When I first kind of got into the world of internets, like a lot of my friends were super duper furry. So a lot of the artwork I saw at first was all like furry porn. And I'm like, I didn't know a dragon's penis looked like that.
We saw that dragon having business with the Cars deal a long time ago. You remember that?
Still bothers Steven. Steven is still bothered that dragons have sex with cars.
It's not bothered. It's just mystified by what the internet contains deep within.
Also, I feel like if I was a dragon, I would not want to stick my wing wang in a rusty, like, fart pipe.
Fart pipe?
Like, because you're like this organic, divine being, and you're like, look at that Chevy with this rusty exhaust pipe. Yeah.
I mean, I watched an episode of My Strange Addiction, and there was a dude who was like licking the hood of his car. What you're into is what you're into. Then there was a story of the guy who had sex with a bunch of cars, and then his like claim to fame was having sex for the helicopter from Airwolf.
Oh God, my head.
Like, could you imagine you're the owner of the helicopter from Airwolf?
How do you have sex with the chopper?
Get on the chopper. I don't know. Do they have an exhaust pipe? Like, is there a port somewhere that you can, like, do you get inside it?
I wouldn't want to stick my willy in the jet fuel.
Like, do you just get in there and, like, entertain yourself, if you know what I mean? And call that sex with the car?
Wait,
Or with
no,
the thing?
you're double fisting the throttle.
Oh, God.
Oh my God, it's so funny when Steven does that. Somebody clip that. I'm gonna puke and die. Subject's like, you're welcome.
Oh, that's great.
Anyway, there was porn on the highway and no one died.
It was 20 minutes worth of porn, so it had to be a lesbian one, or else it would probably be a lot shorter.
Oh my God, I had to explain to Jacob what a fluffer was the other day. He's like, what's a fluffer? I'm like, how do you not know what a fluffer is?
Know that?
I don't know. I'm like, did you not watch a lot of porn in college? He's like, I was in successful relationships during my college career. I didn't need a fluffer.
Well, and you don't know. The only reason I know is from, like, I don't know if it was Boogie Nights or something, one of the movies that had a behind the scenes. You don't know what a fluffer is unless you understand the behind the scenes of a porn. Though it's much like any other movie, it's really fascinating to understand how things are made. And one of those things is there's a fluffer
How
that runs
erections
along.
are made.
Yeah, there's a fluffer that comes along and helps get the blood where it needs to go. You know what I mean? That's what they do. Stephanie said something like that to me one day. We were having a conversation. She was like, I don't know, you know more about this than I do. I'm like, what are you trying to say? You talked to people when you were like in high school and stuff. Y'all figured all this out. I was like, what are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember how I know what a fluffer is.
You just pick things up along the way.
It's just, there was, so, like,
Just learn.
college was some very, Steven and I went to Christian school, man. We were freaking repressed. Like, sex was bad. Thoughts were bad. The opposite sex was bad. Having babies was bad unless you were the dude, and then it was okay.
We weren't you and I found ways to not be repressed. You and I weren't repressible. You know?
I'm being slightly facetious. But when I got to college, I'm just like, download all the porn, download all the porn. I don't know what I like, but I'm gonna watch it till I find out. Do. And then like I'd find these poor guys, and I'm like, hey, I saw this. Let's reenact it.
You're like, okay, do you have a motorcycle? And or I don't even know. I don't know a good scenario.
There were cucumbers and leaches and a knife.
Knock on my door and tell me you're here to fix the cable.
So, okay, this is so bad, and I shouldn't be telling you this. So, I went to school in Morgantown at WVU for like a couple of years, and it's in West Virginia. It's the northern top of West Virginia. It's real cold. So when they have snowstorms, it's like 6 feet of snow. Like it's lots of snow. So this guy was coming over, and I wanted this skirt from Hot Topic. It was like this little sexy, like plaid skirt thing. And I'm like, oh my God, I have boots that'll go with that. This would be awesome. I drive out in the middle of an effing snowstorm, like 30 minutes away to the only mall that has a Hot Topic. Get the skirt, drive back home. And like when I get there, the guy's like, dude, I'm snowed in. Because I had a Jeep, right?
Yeah, you go wherever you want.
Yeah, it was so stupid what I did. My God, I could have died. Like, they were closing the mall, but like, I'd been to Hot Topic so many times. I knew the girl working there. She's like, just go. Like, we're closing. But yeah, I was so pissed. I'm like, I almost killed myself to get this skirt so I get laid. Just walk. Like, you don't live that far away.
I'm not coming to you. You come to me.
Scotty, I figured you would. You're like our soul like was split when we were created, and like the brother portion went into you and the sister portion went into me.
Scotty said I connected this story on a spiritual level. That's fantastic. News better left untold. As if we could get any worse. Oh, this is bad news. Raw chicken burger a la King. An Arizona grandmother is chicken to eat at Burger King after she was sold a sandwich that contained raw meat.
There's a picture and it made me want to vomit.
Oh, no. I'm going to have to find it. I will find it as I read the story. Charlotte Parker of Goodyear said she purchased the sandwich for her 13-year-old granddaughter. The girl took a few bites when she commented there was something different about this particular sandwich. Caitlin got hers out, took a couple of bites, and says, Nanny, what's wrong with this? Parker said. I said, what do you mean what's wrong with it? She said, look at it. She handed it to me, and you could see the meat was raw as it could be, pink as it could be. Parker said she contacted the restaurant employees, apologized, and offered a refund. However, their reaction left a bad taste in her mouth.
Lol.
Oh, punny. I don't think they understood my concern, she said. To me, they seemed very nonchalant, like, oh, well, we didn't cook it long enough.
I love this, like, kind of Louisiana spin you've given this.
Sorry you didn't get your, sorry you got a little bit of extra salmonella with your sandwich. But
oh, it's so gross. Oh, my God. Raw chicken's the worst.
You won't give it back? We'll throw it into peanut oil for another couple minutes. You got to cook your chicken, man. You got to do it. Parker's concerns were amplified because she has another granddaughter with a weakened immune system. If it had been Layla, it could have possibly been death, she said. Could you... No, I love when people do this. You do this. I love you for it. But you'll be a complete stranger, and you'll be talking to him and be like, yeah, Tim, he's like crazy, and no one knows who Tim is. No one has a clue who Tim is. No one knows, and you just ramble off. You're like, oh, yeah, Ashley, you don't even introduce it as like my brother or my sister or whatever. You'd be like, Jacob does blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, they don't know who he is, Ashley.
Yeah, I get, who's Jacob? And I'm like, who? Just do you need to know who this person is for the story to be funny? No, shut up.
It helps people, because if you just drop random names, it's like, what are they doing? Who is that? I don't know. Who cares? Burger King's corporate offices have since released a statement apologizing for serving the sandwich. We have very strict protocols guiding the cooking process at restaurants, and we take any issue regarding food safety very seriously. The restaurant owner has restrained the restaurant staff on our not restrained. He restrained the cooking staff. They are no longer allowed to cook chicken. Sorry, I'm going to read that sentence again.
You should restrain.
I did say restrained.
Could, like, handcuff them to the
back. Handcuff them to it. We're going to learn how to cook this chicken if it takes us all day and night. The restaurant owner has retrained the restaurant staff on our cooking protocols following this incident, statement read. Separately, the owner has reached out to the guests to offer a refund and explain the actions the restaurant has taken to ensure this does not happen again. However, it may not be an isolated incident, at least in Arizona, where chickens take longer to cook than any other state. That's not in there. I added that. Another woman had a similar experience with uncooked chicken at a different Burger King last week. It's time to cook. Oh, dude, is this they're really going to show
picture.
It?
It's so gross.
So
it's so
raw.
I was like,
hold on, I'm trying to
real
get it for
bad.
you guys. Like, hold on a second.
Real bad while I was getting the notes, and I saw that picture. I'm like,
oh my gosh, it's like
ooh,
snap! Look at that chicken. That
Oh
is
no, there's a still of it if you scroll down.
oh, that's only a millimeter of cooked flesh. The rest of
Oh,
that is
vomitorium.
oh,
And
and
there's like a
she
tweet from the other one that's like worse.
oh gosh, and Smash like a 13-year-old will just
At
eat
least 2
stuff.
bites. Oh, I'm gonna vomit.
They don't really know like what wrong is. I mean, you kind of do, but when you're 13, you kind of just, your grandma gave
Scroll
you the
down to the
sandwich.
Tweety one.
Where's the Tweety one? Oh
Just
my
keep
gosh, the color. The color. Yeah, little kid, don't eat that. That was a bad idea. I mean, surely she's fine. But as we all know, because Jacob is a researcher, we know that all 100% of tested chickens have salmonella on them. 100% of chickens, as they leave the factory, have salmonella on them. So
They like douse them in bleach, and it's just so like chicken factories are disgusting.
the chickens are on a hook and they drag them through this water and then they lift them out and it's like on a conveyor.
Can you imagine that smell? Like wet chicken smells like barfarium.
My mom used to work at a restaurant, like a chicken place. I don't know if it was the chicken place in the grocery store or whatever, but there was a chicken processing plant in the town, and she said these guys would come over from the chicken processing plant, go in there, get lunch. They would order a chicken sandwich or a chicken anything and go sit down and eat it. So she was like, evidently it's not that crazy because these guys work in there and they were still coming over here and getting it. But I mean, 100% of chickens.
I mean, that's like somebody working in a morgue eating cake when you come to visit.
You're eating a sandwich over like a corpse. Like,
yeah,
what happened to this? You get used to it. Your uncle is it
Kevin?
Danny? No, cousin.
Oh yeah.
Cousin, uncle?
So my aunt's sister's husband.
Yeah, who is that? How does that work? What's that?
I don't know. I just call him Connie and Danny.
My aunt's sister's husband. Yeah,
Yeah.
Danny was a mortuary guy. He could probably eat a
I don't
sandwich.
know if because he did. He would go to the hospital to pick up the bodies.
Yeah, he would go get bodies and drive them around.
Yeah.
What does that do to a person mentally? Like, in terms of their understanding of dying and stuff. They just go like,
I don't know. Like Danny's a normal human being. He just like likes being waited on hand and foot.
Yeah, but I mean, when you've been dragging bodies around all day, sometimes you're like, I've dragged other people's bodies.
I never really
I
knew he worked I knew he worked with dead bodies because like a lot of times he'd get called out to the hospital early to pick them up, but like I never really connected it.
My buddy Dave used to hang out at a funeral home because he had friends at the funeral. He would help them do stuff. He said that a human eyelid can stretch to unbelievable lengths. Because they'd pull the eyelid out to put like the thing underneath to make the eyes stay shut.
Yeah.
And he said that the amount of like the distance you can make a human eyelid like go to put the thing in, he's like, it's remarkable. It's remarkable. We stop because it hurts. They don't have to care. They just pull the eyelid up and
it's
and
so like we've talked about this before, but I really do. I'm just like, just mulch me up and make me like tree food. So like what we do, and I'm assuming this God, you're so big. She said. I'm assuming this came from religion because there was the whole like like how do we get resurrected if we cremate people like those heathens? But like you pump like a body full of disgusting chemicals that literally pollute the ground.
Yeah.
And like you turn something that could be awesome fertilizer into poison. I'm just like, it's so stupid. And I'm like, I don't want to go stare. Like my mom wants to be cremated. I'm like, thank God. Like I'm not like, we'll have a big barbecue here. I'm not going and staring at your dead body because that's gross. Like I will gladly walk around with a jar of your ashes and like be like, ha ha ha, Mom, guess what Jacob did today? And then my dad's like, no, I want to be buried. I'm like, no, you don't. Be a tree. Be set on fire. Literally anything so I don't have to have a wake and be like, this is the corpse of my once father. He doesn't give a shit anymore because he's dead. So gross.
I don't want any of that. I've been to wakes before. I hate them.
They're awful.
They're awful. They're
awful.
There's a dead person in the room with you and you're all like, yeah, it's good to see you again. Wish it was under better circumstances. How's your golf swing? And they're like, no, you don't get to talk about vacation while you're in the room with a dead body. You need to go out to a bar somewhere. You need to come in. You need to say, it was nice to see you again, dead friend. Peace out and go. I don't need all that around me with you talking about like, hey, I was out at the swanky shack having a beer, and no, get out of my house with this, like, nah, just, my mom wants to be cremated. My dad wants like a parade. He wants to
my God, we could totally do like a petting zoo for your dad. That would be amazing.
He wants like an open casket on the back of a horse-drawn buggy in the entire the entire town to celebrate everything about him. And I'm going to do what I can to make sure that happens. Be like, listen, I know you don't know who he is, but just come out here and just cheer as we drive him down the street. Like, that's what he wants. For me,
your dad was like, he wants that now.
Yeah, he wants that now. He's like, can we do it while I'm alive? And then, like, I won't care later. Steve's dad thinks he's a king. Steve's dad is wonderful. But Steve's dad wants all the attention. Believe it or not.
Steven's dad speaks like royalty because he needs a translator.
Believe it or not, Steven is not that far from being his dad. Hence the cameras and the attention. It's the same thing. He just didn't know how to work internet, or he'd be doing this too.
I still like the last time like I had one like my favorite interactions with your dad is when we were all over at your house and I was like I was peeling vegetables because like Tim is a smart ass. Like he is such a smart ass. So anytime I can get one over on him, I'm like, yes. So I was peeling like a zucchini or something. He walks up to me, he's like, what's that? Like, it's a vegetable, Tim. And, like, I was so tickled because you could tell he was so pissed.
Got him.
I'm like, la. It's not funny now. It was funny.
He does ask me. I'll talk to him and be like, I listened to your show, but I didn't hear you talk about me any. So
well, you'll have to shoot him this one.
This one. Be like, we talk about you at the 50-minute mark. Just fast forward to the stuff that you care about.
There's porn and then there's you.
There's porn jokes and then there's you story. WTF.
This is so stupid. There's a video. Okay, I'll read it.
Okay, yeah, I love when we do that. It's just
woman leaps a fence to taunt a lion in the zoo.
Oh my gosh. This is not okay.
So there's a video too. So you've heard of swimming with the sharks, but what about dancing with the lions? ? That's what one woman did at the New York City's Bronx Zoo when she climbed over the safety rail at the African lion exhibit. Do you see what she's doing?
She's an idiot. She's an idiot. She's probably a YouTuber.
God. Well, she didn't have the stick though. The unidentified woman was filmed standing in the exhibit near a lion with only a moat and a 14-foot drop separating. So you're getting like this weird perspective, but that lion could jump that shit. It's a cat. It's what they do. They have grasshoppers in their knees.
Big old grasshoppers that eat sex bugs in their knees.
Poor bugs. The woman awkwardly dances for the lion, who does not appear to be impressed. But yeah, like at one point she starts doing this like, what was it? The Fresh Prince
Carlton?
Carlton, yeah. And she's like, hi. I'm like, what? Why are you doing this?
People don't know,
It's a big pissed off cat in captivity that sees you as a toy. There was her name Reynoso?
Yeah, Reynoso.
Reynoso?
I had some Reynoso at the Olive Garden the other night.
I want to say Ray because the dog next door.
Would you like some garlic bread with your Reynoso?
Oh, I freaking want garlic bread.
I want risotto now. Even that stuff's good.
My stomach literally just started growling. I need second dinner.
What about second breakfast?
See, that's all I've done today is eat. Like I got up, I drank my saltwater lemonade, and then I had 2 apple sauces. I went back to bed because I'm like, F this, because this is shitty, and I'm not being awake for this hangover. And then Like I tried to clean up the house a little bit, and then I ate leftovers from last night, and then I had like a granola bar and some olives, whatever. I've eaten a lot. So hungry right now. But it also said at first he thought the woman and her dancing were all part of the exhibit, but that quickly changed. Quote, but when I see ... she just was there dancing, saying hi to the lion and everything, and that was crazy. Reynoso said. He also said when he saw the lion start to get agitated and roar, he decided to grab his family and GTFO. So the Bronx Zoo officials said they have a zero tolerance policy for antics of this sort, as they should. Don't keep animals in captivity.com. This action was a serious violation and unlawful trespass that could have resulted in serious injury or death. I don't know how the woman is alive.
No.
Barriers and rules are in place to keep both visitors, staff, and animals safe. The woman has not been identified, but the zoo is filing criminal trespass reports again. Like, what would make you, especially a cat? Like, cats are fast. They have big old claws. They could crush you with their mouth fangs.
You're not running away from that, man. Like by the time you realize it's coming, it's too late. Like you're done. It is. I mean, Siegfried and Roy thought they could handle cats. That didn't work out for them either. That was bad jam.
Nobody can handle a cat. Like, if you think of all the times like a house cat just randomly gets a stick up its ass and attacks you, it's a lot. Like, multiply that times 20, because make it in biggin.
Yeah. It's like
that little scratch becomes your arm missing.
Cats are walking a tightrope between crazy. Like, they're just teetering on this tightrope, and either side is you getting damaged in some way. And like, if it's a cat as big as a lion or a tiger, that one flip out is you're dead. Like you said, it's like the Siegfried and Roy thing. Like, they thought they were like buddies with their cat.
Sure, I'm so the cat thought that too until it decided to be a cat.
And then the cat. And the funny thing is, there's a documentary on this. Like, the trainer was like, "This cat doesn't need to do this trick today." And they're like, "Yes, cat is fine. Cat is my friend. Cat is good." And these trainers like, "Nah, I'm seeing this cat. This cat is not gonna. You shouldn't do this trick today." And they're like, "Oh, the show must go on." They did the trick, and then it went bad. It went real bad. And it's like, cats are. They're wild animals, man. Wild animals are wild animals. There's a guy who thought he could raise pet deer, and he got impaled by a deer. There's Buffalo Man, and there's all these people with all these, like that grizzly guy, like he
Grizzly
got lucky.
Adams.
Nah, but this other grizzly guy that trains the grizzly bear for Hollywood, and they like roll around on the ground together. It's like, no, anything that big, I ain't rolling around with nothing. There's a video that came out on the Twitter this week of a guy who was like, he raised these lions from babies and he's meeting them again for the first time. And he's like standing there with his arms all open, and a lion is running at him. And luckily, the lion just jumps up on him and hugs him like in a big bear hug. But I'm like,
having a good day.
Could you imagine what you were thinking? Is like, I really hope he's not coming to bite my face. I'm gonna hold here like I'm real excited, and hopefully, like, cause
his penis just went.
Because like his testicles all the way up into the stomach. Like
his innie became an outie became an innie.
These claws they have. Like, sometimes the cat doesn't know when it's pawing and when it's clawing. Like, what if it's
like
just
they're like animals are like toddlers, right? You think of a 4-year-old that has a bad day and lashes out.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. Just give the toddlers claws.
Yeah, man, and it's just like, oh, we're fine until we're not, and then that not time is your throat is cut. It's bad news. But hey, all this being said, I'm really glad she's okay. I hope she learns her lesson and doesn't do stupid things like this anymore.
I think people that cross over animal barriers at a zoo are capable of learning lessons. I don't think there's a lot going on other than just banana shit crazy.
You're probably right. That's one of the places that even crazy people are like, I'm not climbing over that thing. There's animals in there. Like, I'll climb on the outside of a building and stuff, but that's under my control. I struggle
with zoos in general, unless it's like, so Busch Garden does the thing with the eagles where they take eagles that can't fly, like they're grounded, and they do some. I think they've got a wolf, something out of the wolf, but like That's okay, because you can use an animal that would die if you put it out into the wild because it couldn't hunt or it would be mauled by its own species or whatever. And you're like, okay, we're gonna teach people about their habitats and yada yada yada. But just to and then like I get like the breeding programs and stuff, but just to take like a healthy animal that has miles and miles of like ranging a day and keep it in like a little like acre cube, it kind of hurts my heart. It's like keeping a fish in a tank.
Yeah.
Like when you're little, it's awesome, but when you get bigger, you're like, this is kind of mean. It's a fish, so it's not cute. So I'm like kind of okay with it. But when you get like a big fluffy cat, you're like, this thing it just roams all day. That's what it does, and it hunts and it doesn't want to be fed. It wants to hunt. Make me shut up. Shit.
No, you're right. You're right. I will not forget going to the amusement park that has animals, Wild Adventures in Valdosta, and my dad was just completely turned off by the whole thing with the animals.
Really?
He would look at him and be like, "That's neat," but he's like, "They don't need to be in there." I'm like, "When did you become Mr. Sensitive Animal Lover guy? Like, this is not something I expected." But he was just like, zoos are wrong. They're just wrong things. He's got 3 horses he keeps in the pasture, but they ride.
Yeah, he takes them out a lot.
Yeah, they take them out all the time. But like when it came to wild animals, like this isn't where they need to be. Some random theme park in South Georgia being gawked at by people.
Well, it's like SeaWorld. Like when I was little, I loved SeaWorld. We went there constantly. And so like I still haven't watched Blackfish. And so when all that stuff came out, I'm just like, you know what? They're doing lots of this and lots of that, and they've conservation, blah 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 blah. But like the more I thought about it, I'm like, good God! Like keeping an orca whale in such a it's like keeping a goldfish, except a smart goldfish.
I mean, you play with them. I don't know. You know what? That's another problem that can't be solved by horseshoes and hand grenades today. Maybe soon. Maybe someday. Maybe with enough tips. We can just take the animals out. We'll buy them all. Tips, and we buy all the animals.
I don't. What am I going to do with a giraffe, Steven?
No, we don't buy them for ourselves. We buy them and we set them free. We free willy. We go and we let the giraffe jump over us while we reach up like the famous poster. We set the
giraffe free, and then some entitled asshat goes and hunts them and go, conservation!
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. But hey, if you've got opinions about this or anything else we talked about on the show, feel free to email us, hnhshow@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to read your emails on the air. That would be pretty fun.
Thank you for the bits.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for the bits, Kelly. 100 bits. Oh, my goodness.
Jade said she needs you to take your shirt off. She wants to see your smexy farmer's tan.
You can kind of see this is dark. This is not. So
I have just want to end the show with this. Steven and I used to do we do sit-up competitions and push-up competitions and stuff. Steven will not work out for 3 months, and then he'll go do 3 push-ups and his arms just go and you can just sit and swivel all over that crap.
It's fun. You know what? I enjoy the lifting of things. And I remember
you enjoy it because you get immediate feedback.
Landon used to be so bad. We would exercise together, and a week later, he's like, "I hate you." I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You have a body type that grows muscles stupid fast, and you don't do it, and it upsets me." Because he's like, "I will work for 3 weeks lifting the same weight you do and get half the muscle mass, but your body's just like, yes, you would like to be swole you are."
I have called in the swole.
I am the swole. Hey, if you enjoyed this show, one of the best things you can do for us is tell your friends how much you enjoyed this show and have them listen. Word of mouth is the best way to help us do literally anything as far as getting an audience and finding new people and getting followers and working towards partners on Twitch and all those fun things and all that goodness that comes with it. We love that. That's great. If you can't tip, you can't do Patreon, at least share the show with your friends who you think will like it. Thank you, Jane, for the 95 bits.
Thank you for the bits.
You're the greatest. You can also leave us a review on podcasting services like iTunes and stuff. Would you give us 5 stars and say you had a good time? That's free, and that means the world to us. You can also follow us on Twitter at SteveHNH and Fate Kills, PHATE Kills. And you can catch all those fun go live notices and whatnot. Two Dorks TV on the Twitch. If you do want to tip, twodorks.net/tip. and patreon.com/2dorks, where you can get your tip routinely taken out of your wallet by us every month. If you don't want to do the one-time thing. If you're like,
Thank you, Og.
just put it together. Yes. And by the way, thank you to Og. Thank you to my mom. And thank you to Ashley's mom, because parents are incredibly supportive. And you know what? As long as my mom thinks I'm cool, I'll take that. That's fine. We're going to leave you guys with these words of wisdom from Aggie Cromwell in Halloween Town. That's a movie.
Yeah, it was a real stupid movie, but it was funny.
Magic is really very simple. All you got to do is want something and then let yourself have it. I like it. Well said, Aggie Cromwell. We will see you guys next time right here on Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. Perfect. Two dorks, but fart sound. Well done. Let's save this. Good show, everybody. Thank you so much for everybody coming and hanging out and having this wonderful level.
Traumatized by meat.
Oh, shoot. Actually, this was episode 483.
Yeah?
Yep.
Did I not put that?
No, I had it listed as 482 in the episode number this whole time.
Oh, no.
I think I typoed. I guess what's the point in changing it now?